Good evening, and a very warm welcome to you all. Let's begin tonight's service, or meeting, with the singing of hymn number 386. When Jesus, our great Master, came to teach us in his Father's name, in every act, in every thought, he lived the precepts which he taught. We do not have a soloist today, so we're on our own. Hymn number 386. The topic of tonight's readings: Jesus proved his words by his works. I shall start with readings from the Bible. Matthew. And Jesus went about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing all manner of sickness and all manner of disease among the people. And he saith unto them, Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works, and glorify your Father which is in heaven. John. And as Jesus passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, Neither hath this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of God should be made manifest in him. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. When he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle, and he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay, and said unto him, Go, wash in the pool of Siloam, which is, by interpretation, sent. He went his way, therefore, and washed, and came seeing. They brought to the Pharisees him that aforetime was blind. Again the Pharisees also asked him how he had received his sight. He said unto them, He put clay upon mine eyes, and I washed, and I do see. But the Jews did not believe concerning him that he had been blind and received his sight until he called the parents of him that had received his sight. And they asked them, saying, Is this your son, who ye say was born blind? How then doth he now see? His parents answered them and said, We know that this is our son, and that he was born blind. But by what means he now seeth, we know not, or who hath opened his eyes, we know not. He is of age, ask him, he shall speak for himself. Then again called they the man that was blind, and said unto him, Give God the praise, we know that this man is a sinner. He answered and said, Whether he be a sinner or no, I know not. One thing I know, that whereas I was blind, now I see. Then said they to him again, What did he to thee? How opened he thine eyes? He answered them, I have told you already, and ye did not hear. Wherefore would ye hear it again? Then they reviled him, and said, Thou art his disciple, but we are Moses' disciples. We know that God spake unto Moses. As for this fellow, we know not from whence he is. The man answered and said unto them, Why, herein is a marvelous thing, that ye know not from whence he is, and yet he hath opened mine eyes. Now we know that God heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshipper of God, and doeth his will, him he heareth. Since the world began, was it not heard that any man opened the eyes of one that was born blind? If this man were not of God, he could do nothing. They answered and said unto him, Thou wast altogether born in sin, and dost thou teach us? And they cast him out. Jesus heard that they had cast him out, and when he had found him, he said unto him, Dost thou believe on the Son of God? He answered and said, Who is he, Lord, that I might believe on him? And Jesus said unto him, Thou hast both seen him, and it is he that talketh with thee. And he said, Lord, I believe. And he worshipped him. And Jesus said, For judgment I am come into this world, that they which see not might see, and that they which see might be made blind. And some of the Pharisees which were with him heard these words, and said unto him, Are we blind also? Jesus said unto them, If ye were blind, ye should have no sin. But now ye say, We see, therefore your sin remaineth. Luke. And it came to pass on a certain day, as he was teaching, that there were Pharisees and doctors of the law sitting by, which were come out of every town of Galilee, and Judea, and Jerusalem, and the power of the Lord was present to heal them. And Levi made him a great feast in his own house, and there was a great company of publicans and others that sat down with them. But their scribes and Pharisees murmured against his disciples, saying, Why do ye eat and drink with publicans and sinners? And Jesus answering said unto them, They that are whole need not a physician, but they that are sick. I come not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. John. Then said they unto him, What shall we do that we might work the works of God? Jesus answered and said unto them, This is the work of God, that ye believe on him whom he hath sent. They say therefore unto him, What sign showest thou then, that we may see, and believe thee? What dost thou work? Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, He gave them bread from heaven to eat. Then Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is he which cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world. Then said they unto him, Lord, evermore give us this bread. And Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. But I say unto you that ye also have seen me, and believe not. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. For I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. And this is the will of him that sent me, that every one which seeth the Son and believeth on him may have everlasting life. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went and met him, but Mary sat still in the house. Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee. Jesus saith unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. Martha saith unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Then when Mary was come where Jesus was, and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying unto him, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. Jesus therefore said, Where have ye laid him? They said unto him, Lord, come and see. Jesus said, Take ye away the stone. Then said unto her, Said I not unto thee, that if thou wouldst believe, thou shouldest see the glory of God? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me, and I know that thou hearest me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth, bound head and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Jesus saith unto them, Loose him, and let him go. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Jesus did believed on him. Then Jesus said unto them, Yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. While ye have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light. I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness. And if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not, for I came not to judge the world, but to save the world. He that rejecteth me and receiveth not my words hath one that judgeth him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me. He gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. Matthew. Jesus spake unto them, saying, All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. I shall now read correlative passages from the Christian Science textbook, Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures, by Mary Baker Eddy. The reception accorded to truth in the early Christian era is repeated today. Whoever introduces the science of Christianity will be scoffed at and scourged with worse cords than those which cut the flesh. To the ignorant age in which it first appears, science seems to be a mistake. Hence, the misinterpretation and consequent maltreatment which it receives. Christian marvels, and marvel is the simple meaning of the Greek word rendered miracle in the New Testament, will be misunderstood and misused by many until the glorious principle of these marvels is gained. If sin, sickness, and death are as real as life, truth, and love, then they must all be from the same source. God must be their author. Now, Jesus came to destroy sin, sickness, and death. Yet the Scriptures aver, I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Is it possible, then, to believe that the evils which Jesus lived to destroy are real, or the offspring of the divine will? Despite the hallowing influence of truth in the destruction of error, must error still be immortal? Truth spares all that is true. If evil is real, truth must make it so. But error, not truth, is the author of the unreal, and the unreal vanishes, while all that is real is eternal. The apostle says that the mission of Christ is to destroy the works of the devil. Truth destroys falsity and error, for light and darkness cannot dwell together. Light extinguishes the darkness, and the Scriptures declare that there is no night there. To truth, there is no error. All is truth. To infinite spirit, there is no matter. All is spirit, divine principle, and its idea. Jesus uncovered and rebuked sin before he cast it out. Of a sick woman he said that Satan had bound her, and to Peter he said, Thou art an offense unto me. He came teaching and showing man how to destroy sin, sickness, and death. Our Master taught no mere theory, doctrine, or belief. It was a divine principle of all real being which he taught and practiced. His proof of Christianity was no form or system of religion and worship, but Christian science, working out the harmony of life and love. Jesus sent a message to John the Baptist which was intended to prove beyond a question that the Christ had come. Go your way and tell John what things ye have seen and heard, how that the blind see, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the poor have the gospel preached. In other words, tell John what the demonstration of divine power is, and he will at once perceive that God is the power in the messianic work. That life is God, Jesus proved by his reappearance after the crucifixion, in strict accordance with his scientific statement. Destroy this temple, body, and in 3 days, I, spirit, will raise it up. It is as if he had said, the I, the life, substance, and intelligence of the universe, is not in matter to be destroyed. The mission of Jesus confirmed prophecy and explained the so-called miracles of olden times as natural demonstrations of the divine power, demonstrations which were not understood. Jesus' works established his claim to the Messiahship. In reply to John's inquiry, Art thou he that should come? Jesus returned an affirmative reply, recounting his works instead of referring to his doctrine, confident that this exhibition of the divine power to heal would fully answer the question. Hence his reply, Go, and show John again those things which ye do hear and see. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. In other words, he gave his benediction to anyone who should not deny that such effects, coming from divine mind, prove the unity of God, the divine principle which brings out all harmony. a higher and more practical Christianity, demonstrating justice and meeting the needs of mortals in sickness and in health, stands at the door of this age, knocking for admission. Will you open or close the door upon this angel visitant, who cometh in the quiet of meekness, as he came of old to the patriarch at noonday? Sometimes Jesus called a disease by name, as when he said to the epileptic boy, "Thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him, and enter no more into him." It is added that the spirit error cried and rent him sore, and came out of him, and he was as one dead. Clear evidence that the malady was not material. These instances show the concessions which Jesus was willing to make to the popular ignorance of spiritual life laws. Often he gave no name to the distemper he cured. To the synagogue ruler's daughter, whom they called dead, but of whom he said, "She is not dead, but sleepeth," he simply said, "Damsel, I say unto thee, arise." To the sufferer with the withered hand, he said, "Stretch forth thine hand." And it was restored whole, like as the other. In healing the sick and sinning, Jesus elaborated the fact that the healing effect followed the understanding of the divine principle and of the Christ-like spirit which governed the corporeal Jesus. Jesus established his church and maintained his mission on a spiritual foundation of Christ healing. He taught his followers that his religion had a divine principle, which would cast out error and heal both the sick and the sinning. He claimed no intelligence, action, nor life separate from God. Despite the persecution this brought upon him, he used his divine power to save men both bodily and spiritually. The question now as then was, how did Jesus heal the sick? His answer to this question, the world rejected. He appealed to his students. Whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? That is, who or what is it that it thus identified with casting out evils and healing the sick? They replied, "Some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, and others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets." These prophets were considered dead, and this reply may indicate that some of the people believed that Jesus was a medium controlled by the spirit of John or Elias. The disciples apprehended their master better than did others, but they did not comprehend all that he had said and did, or they would not have questioned him so often. Jesus patiently persisted in teaching and demonstrating the truth of being. His students saw this power of truth heal the sick, cast out evil, raise the dead. But the ultimate of this wonderful work was not spiritually discerned even by them until after the crucifixion, when their immaculate teacher stood before them, the victor over sickness, sin, disease, death, and the grave. Yearning to be understood, the Master repeated, "But whom say ye that I am?" This renewed inquiry meant, who or what is it that is able to do the work, so mysterious to the popular mind? In his rejection of the answer already given and his renewal of the question, it is plain that Jesus completely eschewed the narrow opinion implied in their citation of the common report about him. With his usual impetuosity, Simon replied for his brethren, and his reply set forth a great fact. "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." That is, the Messiah is what thou hast declared. Christ, the Spirit of God, of truth, life, and love, which heals mentally. The real man, being linked by science to his Maker, mortals need only turn from sin and lose sight of mortal selfhood to find Christ, the real man in his relation to God, and to recognize the divine sonship. The individuality of man is no less tangible because it is spiritual and because his life is not at the mercy of matter. The understanding of his spiritual individuality makes man more real, more formidable in truth, and enables him to conquer sin, disease, and death. The Word was made flesh. Divine truth must be known by its effects on the body, as well as on the mind, before the science of being can be demonstrated. Hence its embodiment in the incarnate Jesus, that life link forming the connection through which the real reaches the unreal. Soul rebukes sense, and truth destroys error. The author became a member of the Orthodox Congregational Church in early years. Later she learned that her own prayers failed to heal her, as did the prayers of her devout parents and the church. But when the spiritual sense of the creed was discerned in the science of Christianity, this spiritual sense was a present help. It was the living, palpitating presence of Christ, truth, which healed the sick. Paul writes, "If Christ, truth, be not risen, then is our preaching vain." That is, if the idea of the supremacy of spirit, which is the true conception of being, come not to your thought, you cannot be benefited by what I say. Jesus said substantially, "He that believeth in me shall not see death." That is, he who perceives the true idea of life loses his belief in death. He who has the true idea of good loses his sense of evil, and by reason of this, being ushered into the undying realities of spirit. Such a one abideth in life, life obtained not of the body, incapable of supporting life, but of truth, unfolding its own immortal idea. Jesus gave the true idea of being, which results in infinite blessings to mortals. The Christ was the Spirit which Jesus implied in his own statements. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I and my Father are one. This Christ, or divinity of the man Jesus, was his divine nature and godliness which animated him. Divine truth, life, and love gave Jesus authority over sin, sickness, and death. His mission was to reveal the science of celestial being, to prove what God is and what he does for man. Let us have a few moments of silent prayer, to be followed by the audible repetition of the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Let's unite in singing our second hymn, 131. I am the way, the truth, the life, our blessed Master said, and whosoever to the Father comes must in my pathway tread. Hymn number 131. The members of this church extend a loving welcome to our guests this evening. This church is a branch of the Mother Church, the First Church of Christ Scientists in Boston, Massachusetts, a church designed in the words of its founder, Mary Baker Eddy, to commemorate the word and works of our Master, which should reinstate primitive Christianity and its lost element of healing. Our church services are held every Sunday morning at 10. Scriptural selections and the weekly lesson sermon are read, as they are in all Christian Science churches throughout the world. A Sunday school for children and teenagers meets every Sunday morning, also at 10 o'clock. The students learn about the Bible and how to use the healing truths of Christian Science in their daily life. Child care is provided during all our services. A free public reading room is located in this building. Here, the Bible, as well as the writings of Mary Baker Eddy and other Christian Science literature, may be studied, borrowed, or purchased. The reading room is open before each Wednesday evening meeting and after each Sunday service. Should you wish to express your gratitude for Christian Science by becoming a member of the Mother Church and or of this branch church, please see an usher for information. Each of you is a valued member of the congregation, and we hope you find our meetings inspiring and helpful. This meeting is now open to you to share testimonies of healings and remarks on Christian Science. If you are visiting us on Zoom, please remember to unmute yourself before speaking so that we all may hear. And thank you all for the testimonies and for being here. Let us close tonight's meeting with the singing of hymn number 269. Our God is love, unchanging love, and can we ask for more? Our prayer for love's increase is vain, 'twas infinite before. Ask not the Lord with breath of praise for more than we accept. The open font is free to all, God's promises are kept. Hymn number 269.